What a headshot! What a head!
How's it, guys? This is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, I'll be taking you through my very own free hit draft for the upcoming double game week 34. So that's right, free hit week is finally upon us. I've activated the chip as of my transfer plan video, and I'm pleased to share with you guys my first initial free hit draft for game week 34. So you guys would have seen my team in game week 34's transfer plan wasn't the best. I therefore activated the free hit chip on the weekend, and I'm really liking the look of the 11 players I've got in my starting team. And as I always say, the fixtures are the bread and butter of any draft, and therefore the first portion of this video I'll be dedicating to them and deciding which teams to target from an attacking and a defensive point of view. Then I'm going to jump into actually creating my free hit draft from scratch, show you guys how I actually made the team, and I'm pretty sure you guys will have some thoughts on it in the comments down below. So if that's something you guys are interested in, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So as mentioned, the fixtures are the bread and butter of any draft, and in game week 34, it's going to be the double game weeks that dominate, but still remember there are some teams with good single fixtures. I'm not going to list them here because I do feel like on a free hit, you guys have to go for the double game week players, but just remember, Man City play Brighton, and therefore Erling Haaland could actually score quite a few goals. Also, have a team like Newcastle who are on form at the current moment, they face that Crystal Palace side that is listed. So they could actually be a great team to target if you guys want to go for some single game week options. Otherwise, Ollie Watkins, Aston Villa off the back of that Arsenal victory, and they have a pretty nice game against Bournemouth. But as mentioned though, on a free hit, you guys are going to target those double game weeks, and therefore the 7 teams that have a double are listed on screen right now. It's Arsenal, Liverpool, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, Sheffield United, Everton, and finally Wolves. I'm going to bring up their fixtures for the double, and I'm also going to use the FPL fixture ratings. Now please just remember, these aren't my kind of ratings, they're simply the ones that are listed on the FPL website. Now you guys might notice there is an order to these kind of fixtures and these teams. Yes, I've actually rated them according to importance, not necessarily in terms of fixtures. For example, Arsenal at the top there, I do believe getting the kind of triple up of that team is very integral, as that team hardly rotates and they have some pretty good fixtures coming up. Now we can go down the list: Liverpool, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, Sheffield United, Everton, and finally Wolves. But this is my rating and you guys might have a different one. I think a lot of people are being put off that kind of Chelsea fixture, but please remember, Chelsea's defense hasn't been great, and I don't expect Wolves to give a clean sheet either. Now in the ultimate guide tomorrow, I'll showcase those stats. Once again, Arsenal's defense is rock solid even though they lost in game week 33. Definitely the best defense in the Prem at the moment. Now, like the Arsenal triple up, I do believe a Liverpool triple up is super integral. I think they have the best double game week in terms of the fixtures. Now, while they both might be away games, Fulham and Everton, I do feel like both them would concede. And you guys know how good that Liverpool attack has been, even though they can't finish over the prior game weeks. So triple up, or at least a double up from both these two teams is integral, but please watch out for the Champions League and Europa football coming up this midweek. Now another team with strong fixtures is Crystal Palace, West Ham at home, Newcastle at home, one of the teams with 2 home games. And that can be super useful in a double game week. Now my only kind of thing about Crystal Palace is some of their players are coming back from injury, for example an Elise, who I do like the look of, and to be honest, I don't really trust their defense that much. Then Bournemouth have 2 away games, Aston Villa and Wolves could be quite tough, but if you like those 2 games in terms of the attack. Then we kind of hit these bottom 3 teams where I do feel like differentials could come from. I'm rating Wolves as the worst one because they have that Arsenal home game, and I agree with FPL as this is a 5 rated fixture. Now yes, Bournemouth might be a pretty strong one, but I'm not expecting much in the first game against Arsenal, and therefore I haven't already included too many Wolves players in my draft. But I like the look of Sheffield United's games, Burnley at home, United away. Both those sides haven't been great defensively, but how much can I trust Sheffield United? Then with Everton, 2 home games, but the second one against Liverpool, not expecting too much, and Nottingham Forest aren't too shabby either. But these are just kind of my rankings and my thoughts on the fixtures. Tomorrow in the ultimate guide, I'll be taking more of a stats objective look, so make sure that you check out that video that's coming up. But do you guys agree with my fixture ratings and my listing in terms of importance? And what teams would you guys change if you had to? You guys can also shout out if you're on the free at any 1 week punts in terms of single fixtures, or you're going for someone like a Haaland or a Foden, or maybe an Ollie Watkins. That's the beauty of the free hit, is that you guys can have your creativity. If you want to spice your draft up with single game week options, it's 100% fine. But now let's jump on to my starting 11 of full double game week players. But now let's go over the free hit draft I created. I'm going to show you guys how I actually built this draft using that importance rating of the teams, and that's how I kind of made my decisions. Now the first thing I want to say is on the right hand side, I usually list the kind of money in the bank, but don't worry, without Erling Haaland and some of these premium options, you guys have plenty money in the bank. And I'm also going to jump ahead and not show you the bench because on a free hit, the bench doesn't matter too much. Basically, what you guys will do is once you've made your starting 11, you'll fill your bench with other double game week players from teams you don't own. For example, like myself, probably a lot of Wolves assets. So I'm not saying the bench isn't important on a free hit, but kind of when you're making your team, I wouldn't put too much importance on it. And that's when I jump this step for kind of saving time. So using the importance of the team rankings, the first team you're going to notice is going to be Arsenal. And I do believe this is kind of a defense versus offense debate. And that's why I'm backing the defense of Arsenal, to be honest. I just feel like compared to the other sides, the Arsenal defense you guys can trust. Yes, the fixtures might not be that great, but the tougher game is at home at the Emirates. So that's why I've gone for the double up in the defense over the double up in attack. And I believe that might be slightly safer with rotation around the forwards. So the two defenders that I like the most is going to be Ben White as well as Gabriel. You guys can also go for Saliba if you want kind of nailed starts, but I do believe Ben White is pretty nailed at right back and offers slightly more attacking threat than Saliba. Now Gabriel's my first play option. He's got a great attacking threat from the set pieces, so hopefully one comes from this game week. Now I would still suggest going for kind of an Arsenal attacker. My choice is going to be Saka. Yes, it might be boring, but on penalties, pretty nailed in that starting 11. I think he's the one to go for, but if you guys want a more spicy option, Havertz might be a good expected minutes punt. But like with Liverpool, please watch out for that kind of Champions League football coming up tomorrow. Hopefully no major injuries. So now let's go on to the next team that I was kind of deciding on my importance rating. It's going to be Liverpool, and I definitely want a triple up of them, and that'll depend on the minutes coming up on Thursday. Now the first player that's pretty nailed is going to be Mo Salah. I think kind of dependent on the injury news obviously, but I've got the Campsy on him anyways. Just a great option even though Liverpool haven't been great at the moment. I just feel like with those two fixtures, you guys have to go for the punt. Yes, there might be away games, but they're pretty strong ones on paper, and that's why Mo Salah's nailed in my starting 11. Now defensive option I do believe should also be there. Liverpool's defensive stats aren't that bad, and the two fixtures might also be clean sheets. I think the second one more than the first one though. Fulham's going to be a very tough game, but against Everton I think there could be a clean sheet in there. Now added to that also the tagging threat that I'm going for from a Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I think he's the perfect defender to go for on a free hit because most non-free hitters might not choose him. Now we just got the news today that Connor Bradley is going to be missing 2 to 3 weeks, and therefore I do believe Trent is pretty nailed. Let's just see what happens on Thursday. Now the last Liverpool player that I would go for would definitely be an attacker. As you guys can see, I've already got my 3 at the back, and therefore I prefer attacker to someone like an Alisson, and this also be dependent on those Europa minutes. My current selection is going to be Luis Diaz because I do feel like he's more nailed than a Darwin Núñez, now that Gakpo and Jota are back in the starting team. This might change though. I might revert to kind of a 3-4-3 if Luis Diaz doesn't look like a good option, so he's more of a placeholder at the moment. All you guys have to know is I do prefer the Liverpool attack to the defense, and that's what made me double up on the Arsenal defense because I trust them more. Now we're going to fill in some of these lesser teams or lesser important teams, but I still believe they could pack a punch. The next 2 players in my midfield that I'm super excited about is going to be the 2 Crystal Palace options, Eze and Elise. We might as well change our team name to Baller FC because these 2 assets are so good, and I really want to take a punt on Elise as I do prefer him to someone like an Eze when he's fit. So these 2 options have been mainstays in most of my free hit drafts, to be honest, and I can't see them going anywhere. Now I'm going to jump ahead to my forward department because I do believe there's kind of a nailed forward in most free hit drafts, and that's Dom Solanke from Bournemouth. Now we spoke about these 2 games might not be the best defensively, but from an offensive point of view, Aston Villa and Wolves, I can see Solanke scoring against both of them. So kind of a no-brainer, wasn't in my original team, therefore on a free hit, I'm definitely going to be bringing him in, and I believe he could do quite well. Now you guys will be asking me what am I going to do with my 3rd Crystal Palace option. I'm actually going for the defensive option or Henderson in goal, as I believe there's some upside in these 2 games. Now I don't think there's many clean sheets, probably not, maybe against West Ham there could be one, but I think that Henderson might be facing a few saves. But you guys go for someone else here, a Neto, Pickford if you guys want to. I just wasn't too keen on choosing them and choosing other replacements, but I guess I don't own any Aston Villa attackers. Seen Pickford in quite a few people's drafts with a double up against Liverpool, I'm not expecting much, and therefore Henderson might be a nice compromise. Now I do feel like the debate at the moment is probably Mateta versus Henderson, but I'm going to take a different punt in my forward department. Now my last forward position is probably the one that I'm contemplating the most. As mentioned, this could be Mateta and a different goalkeeper, but at the moment I'm taking a punt on McBurney. Now this might be quite different to most kind of Sheffield United punters who are going for Diaz in the midfield department, but as you guys can see, don't have a free spot in my midfield. Now what you guys could say is downgrade Elise to a Diaz and upgrade a McBurney to a Mateta, but I actually think that he could be a good punt in the forward department. At the moment, winning Zaki knows on penalties for Sheffield United, and it might very well be McBurney in these fixtures. Now the only slight concern about him might be expected minutes. Seems like he might start the Burnley game but be rested for the United one, now that Cameron Archer's back in the team. So this might very well become a Cunha for Wolves if I do want to go there, but as mentioned, Arsenal at home is not a strong fixture. So let's see what this position has come to. As mentioned, I could kind of switch some positions around with the triple ups. In the comments down below, what do you guys think of this overall team? I like the punts with the Lisa and Eze's double up. I believe the Arsenal defense versus attack is the right decision, and hopefully Liverpool will score a few goals with this double up in attack. But let me know what you guys think. You guys don't have to love this draft. What's your draft looking like in the comments down below, or we can debate over my Discord server. But this is basically going to wrap up the video, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Tons of content still to come with all that Europa and Champions League football. Hopefully there's no more injuries. But for the time being, I'm signing off. It's been Dayvy FPL and I'm out. Cheers, bye.